Well, hi again, everyone. This is Tim from Cleveland Baseball Fan 879, and this is another game for Gaylord Perry Extended 1972. What if he actually faced the pitchers who got Cy Young votes? Tonight, the Indians will be heading to Anaheim, California to face the California Angels. And pitching tonight for the Angels is none other than Nolan Ryan, also known as Nolan Ryan. And, of course, going up against Nolan Ryan is Gaylord Perry. Starting lineup for the Indians is Tommy McCraw in center field, Jack Brohammer leading off. Batting second and playing second is Jack Brohammer. Batting third and playing left field is Alex Johnson. Cleaning up and catching is Ray Fosse. Batting fifth and playing third base is Greg Nettles. Batting sixth and playing right field is Buddy Bell. Batting seventh and playing first base is Chris Chambliss. Batting eighth and playing shortstop is Eddie Leone. And batting ninth and pitching is Gaylord Perry. The defense behind Nolan Ryan, behind the plate you have John Stevenson. At first base you have Bob Oliver. At second base, the recently departed Sandy Alomar Sr. At third base is Ken McMullen, and at shortstop is Leo Cardenas. Left field is Veda Pinson. Center field is Mickey Rivers. And the right fielder is Leroy Stanton. All right, and we'll go ahead and get started here. And leading off is Tommy McCraw. And a 3 and a 4. And against a righty, that's a ground ball to first. And Oliver takes it to the bag himself, one away. And now batting is Jack Brohammer. One and a 6, and that's ripped into center field for a base hit for Brohammer. Now, the one thing that Ryan does not have going for him, he is terrible at holding runners on. And Stevenson even doesn't make it any better. So the Indians might be looking to run here. They're pretty much going to have to hold everybody on. Brohammer, let's see, 13 held on is a -2. So, I mean, the most they're going to get is a +3. So, I mean, 1 to 16 is kind of worth it if you ask me. Brohammer is going to try to get a lead. And that's an 8, and he does not get a lead, and the 3 does not do anything. All right, so Brohammer is on with a 1-out single, and that brings up Alex Johnson. Havoc roll. Nothing on the 11. And here's a pitch to Alex Johnson. 4 and a 7, swung on and missed, struck him out. First K for the Ryan Express. And here's Ray Fosse. Havoc roll for Ryan. Nothing on the 13. Here's a pitch to Fosse. 3 and a 9. Tapper back to the mound. Ryan throws to first. And that will retire the side. And I will be right back to get a score thing at the top so you can keep score with me. All right, be right back. All right, here's Gaylord Perry to face Sandy Alomar Sr. 2 and a 10, swung on and missed, struck him out. 1 away, and here's Mickey Rivers. Don't know if this was the last part of his career, but he did not play very much for the Angels. 2 and an 11. Bouncer to first. And Chambliss throws to Perry covering. 2 away. And here's Veda Pinson, former Indian. I believe he was an Indian in 71 and then went to the Angels in 72. And a 4 and an 8 against the lefty. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. So Perry strikes out 2 in the first inning. And after 1 complete, it's the Indians nothing and the Angels nothing. And do it for the Indians, Nettles, Bell, and Chambliss. All right, here's Nolan Ryan to face Greg Nettles. And a 4 and a 10. That's a ground ball to short, and unless he's a 1, he's not going to get to this. No, Cardenas is a 3, so that will squeak by for a single. And, oh boy, this could be a lot worse than that. Triple 1s. So 3 and a 2, that will be a single. Cardenas, 23 and a 3. Yes, that will be a 1 base error as well. So compounding his error, Cardenas throws and it gets by him, and Nettles goes to second. And the Indians have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. And they will, I guess, have to, on second base, they're not going to hold him on. All right, so here's Buddy Bell to face Ryan. Pass ball or wild pitch chance. And that's a 2, so that's a... Hold on, I always forget the rules, so timeout. All right, so that's a balk chance. Ryan does not have a balk, so we will roll on. Here's Buddy Bell. 4 and a 4. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Second strikeout for Ryan. And here's Chris Chambliss. Nothing on the Havoc roll. Oops. And here's Chambliss. 3 and a 6. And that's ripped into center field for a base hit. Scoring from second is Nettles. And the Indians take a 1-0 lead. So RBI single for Chris Chambliss. He will be held on. So actually +5 is the most that he can be. Sorry, not +3 as I said on Nels. So, ooh, he'd be 1-18 to try to get a lead. He might try to get one. Oops, gotta have both go through. And stepping off is Ryan. Nothing on the 12. That is a 6. So 1-18, Chambliss will steal second base. And he's in there with a stolen base. All right, so here's Eddie Leone. Nothing on the Havoc roll. 5 and a 9. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Third strikeout. And here's Perry with 2 outs. A runner on second. Turn this over for the first at bat so you can see. And a Havoc roll for Perry. Nothing on the 20. Three and a 7. Ground ball to second. And Alomar throws out Perry. Now we'll retire the side. But the Indians get on the board on the Chambliss RBI single. And after an inning and a half, it's the Indians 1 and the Angels nothing. And due up for the Angels is Bob Oliver, Ken McMullen, and Leroy Stanton. All right, and here's the pitch to Oliver. Two and a 3. Oh, ballpark single. I forgot to introduce the ballpark effects. If we're playing at Los Angeles, it's not very good 1 to 2 for singles for lefty and righty, and 1 for home runs. So not much is going to get through. And on a 5, that will not be caught. So we'll just say that's a line drive to the shortstop, 1 away. Here's Ken McMullen. 2 and a 5. Grounder to short. And that's Leone over to Chambliss, 2 away. Here's Leroy Stanton. And a 1 and a 7. Another ground ball to short, and Brohammer throws out Stanton. That retires the side. After 2 complete, it's the Angels trailing the Indians 1 to 0. And top of the order duel for the Indians, McCraw, Brohammer, and Johnson to face Nolan Ryan. Six and a 7 against the lefty. Just a bit outside ball 4. And McCraw will be held on. He has to be. I mean, if all people to want to steal, he would be it. But we're going to just hold him on. And here's Jack Brohammer. Nothing on the 5. Five and a 3. Pitcher X. That goes back to Ryan. Ryan is a 4. Oh, boy. 4 and a 9. That will be if he gets to it, the only play is the first. Ryan is an E30. And a 13. E30. There is a 13. So G3E1 is probably just going to be... Yep, batter to first and runners advance. So Ryan bobbles it and can't get a handle on it, and everybody is safe. So error on Ryan. So first and second, nobody out for Alex Johnson, and they will hold all runners. Nothing on the Havoc. Three and a 6, and that's into left field for a base hit. Pinson's a -1. We're holding McCraw on, makes him a 13 and a 12. They'll hold everybody up. Bases loaded for Ray Fosse. Nothing on the 10. And here's the pitch to Fosse. 1 and an 8. Popped him up. Infield fly rule. Second baseman Alomar calls for it and makes the catch 1 away. And here is Greg Nettles. Once again, nothing on the 15. And here's the pitch to Nettles. Four and a 7 against the lefty, struck him out. Fourth strikeout for Ryan. And brings up Buddy Bell. Indians trying not to waste a bases loaded, nobody out opportunity. Nothing on the 11. Two and a 7. Fly ball to center field. And racing back is Rivers. He will make the catch. And the Indians threaten but do not score. And we'll see if the Angels get a jolt from that. 2.5 complete. Indians lead 1-0. Maybe we should have sent him. All right, so Perry will face bottom third of the order, Stevenson, Cardenas, and Ryan. All right, so here's the pitch to Stevenson. 3 and a 7, 1-14 single chance, and the Angels finally get their first hit tonight. Leadoff single by Stevenson. And he will not be held on. He does not have a steal rating, so no worries on that. They will not bunt with Cardenas because Ryan's on deck. All right, havoc roll for Perry. Once again, nothing on the 11. And here's Cardenas. 2 and a 5. Just a bit outside ball 4. And we all know what defense is going to be in, expecting a bunt. Ryan is a D bunter. So now that make him an E bunter. Nothing on the 8. I'll just roll 3 at once. White die is who it goes to. The 2d6s are the bunt results. All right, so this will go to the first baseman. And on an 8, on a E bunter is 1 and 2. If you get another one of those, it's a strikeout. And they're going to try it again. Bunted. Tries to bunt it in front of the plate, and on a 9, oh boy. Well, he just gets a foul, and that's strike 3. So, third strikeout for Perry. 1 down, as Ryan could not get the job done. Here's Sandy Alomar. Nothing on the 9. Three and a 6. And that's a 1-2 home run chance. And there's the 1. And Sandy Alomar has just put the Angels up 3-1. Wow, wow, wow. Unbelievable. 3 and 6 against a righty, 1-2 home run chance, and he got it. Oh boy. Okay, here's Mickey Rivers. Four and a 6 against the lefty. And Rivers, and that devil die again, 1-2 triple. And Rivers had 2 triples on the year, at least with the Angels. And so Rivers has a 1-out triple. And here's Veda Pinson. And a wild pitch chance, 1-7. Not on the 10. All right, here's Pinson. And nope, doesn't count because all 3 dice have to go through the tray. Four and a 5. Wow. And Pinson laces one into deep right center field that will bounce off the wall. And 3rd straight extra base hit for the Angels as they take a 4-0 lead. If Pinson scores, then Perry might not come out of the game, but he will be deemed ineffective and get the tired rolls. Havoc roll for Oliver. Nothing on the 13. Here's Oliver. All right. 2 and a 6. And that's ripped into center field. And scoring from second is Pinson. And Perry will not come out of the game, but he will now hit his tired rolls. Steve Hargan and Denny Riddleberger are loosening in the bullpen. Havoc roll, nothing on the 16. Plus Perry, well, they might pinch hit for Perry in the 4th inning. 4 and an 11. Against a righty fly ball to right field. Making the catch there is Buddy Bell. And Oliver is on first, not on second. So 2 out. And here is Leroy Stanton, 9th man to bat in the inning. Nothing on the 7. 6 and an 8. And that's a fly ball to center field. And McCraw tracks it down. And that retires the side. But the Angels get 5 runs on 5 hits. They strand 1. And I hate to say this, but I think Perry's going to come out after 3 innings. And 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, so I think he's going to come out. And Steve Hargan will take his place. All right, so here's Nolan Ryan to face Chris Chambliss to lead off the top of the 4th. One and a 9. Finds the hole in the 1 column. Bouncer back to Ryan. 1 away. And here's Eddie Leone. One and a 3. And wow, the D20 falls not in favor. Ballpark blast, only a 1 and a 2 comes up. So deep drive to left field on the warning track and against the wall. Pinson makes the catch 2 away. And John Lowenstein will pinch hit for Gaylord Perry. And Steve Hargan will come in to the game. All right. Here's Lowenstein. 5 and a 6 against the lefty. And he draws a 2-out walk. And down 4 runs, we're not going to try to have him steal. Back to the top of the order, Tommy McCraw. So they will not hold him on. Nothing on the Havoc roll. And here's McCraw. 2 and a 7. And since he's not on second base, that is, the clutch does not come into play. So that's a base hit to center field. And stopping at second is, center field, Rivers +3. And with 2 outs, Lowenstein runs at a 14, not being held on, makes him a 15. 2 outs makes him a 17. They'll just let him take third. So Lowenstein gets the third. Runners on the corners for Jack Brohammer. Nothing on the 20. One and 11 popped up. Foul territory, third base side. McMullen calls for it and makes the catch, and that will retire the side. Indians go scoreless here in the 4th, and in comes Steve Hargan to pitch. So a rough outing for Perry. He goes the three innings. And Steve Hargan will now come into the game. And he will face the bottom third of the order, Stevenson, Cardenas, and Ryan. The same bottom third that started the 5-run rally in the 3rd inning. 1 and a 7. And that's a bouncer to first. Chambliss will step on the bag himself. 1 away. And here is Leo Cardenas. Two and a 3. Well, ground ball to second, and there is Brohammer to retire Cardenas. 2 down. Here's Nolan Ryan. Struck out his first time up. And a 3 and an 11's a fly ball to center field. Going back a couple of steps is McCraw, and 1-2-3 inning for Hargan here in the bottom of the 4th. And we go to the 5th. Indians trail 5-1. And Johnson, Fossey, and Nettles do up here for the Indians here in the 5th. Here's Alex Johnson. 3 and a 9. 1-10 double chance, and that's nicely cut off by the center fielder Rivers. Gets it back in and holds Johnson to a single. Johnson is 2 for 3 on the day. And he will be held on. The Indians might want to look at 8 and 9. That kind of doesn't help. All right. Here's Ray Fossey. Nothing on the 13 for the Havoc. One and a 5. And, of course, you don't send them. Ground ball to short. Cardenas to Alomar to Oliver double play. Tailor-made. So all going bad right now for the Indians. Here's Greg Nettles. Two and a 5. 2 out walk. So that is Ryan's third walk. I'm sure he did a lot of that in, let's see how many times he walked in 72. 157 walks in 284 innings. Actually not the worst. All right, so here's Buddy Bell. Nettles will not be held on. Nothing on the 7. Here's Bell. 5 and a 5. Swung on and missed. Struck him out. Number 5 for Ryan. Second on the day for Bell. And the Indians are set down here in the top of the 5th. It is 5-1 Angels. And Steve Hargan is coming out for his second inning of work. Hargan will face top of the order, Alomar, Rivers, and Pinson. Four to seven, excuse me. And switch hitter batting left-handed, and that's just a bit high, ball 4. So Alomar now 1 for 2 on the day, home run and a walk. Hargan is he's a +9 too. Let's see here. So +5. If he gets a lead, it's pretty much he goes on anything. So actually they won't. Maybe with 2 outs they'll send them, but who knows. All right, here's Mickey Rivers. Havoc roll for Perry. Nothing on the 17. 2 and a 10. Ground ball to short. They go to second to get Alomar, but Rivers still has some quicks. He will beat it out. And Mickey will definitely try to get a lead here. And that's what he does. Or what he did. He stole 4 bases on the year. All right, so Rivers needs a 3 through 8 or a 9. And it's an 11, but there's a 1. On a 1 to 8, Rivers makes it back. If not, he's picked off. And Rivers is picked off a first. So 1-3 on the pickoff. Rivers thought he could sneak one in, but no. So here's Veda Pinson, 2 outs, nobody on. Whoops, and that will not count because all 3 dice have to go through. And 6 and a 4. That's a catcher X chance. Fossey is a 2 and a 9. That should be fine. And let's see here. 2 and a 9 for catcher is a PF, which means there's no runners on base. And a 9 for an E6. Nope, so that's a pop-up foul territory. Fossey throws off the mask and makes the catch, and that will retire the side. We go to the top of the 6th. Bottom third of the order, which means that the Indians will get a new pitcher loosening up. Denny Riddleberger, the lefty. And Ed Farmer, the righty, will be loosening in the pen. All right, so Chambliss makes out here as we get to go to this top of the 6th. All right, here's Chris Chambliss. Chambliss on the day is 1 for 2 with a single and a stolen base. And a 110, and Chambliss has his second hit of the day. And he will not go anywhere. Here's Eddie Leone. Nothing on the 9. Roy Foster has grabbed the bat, and he will... oops, and that does not count because the die did not go through. 4 and a 9 against the righty. Shortstop X, and once again, Cardenas cannot make the play. And that's a 10, so that should be safe from the air rating. 3 and a 2. Going to third, Cardenas, 23, there is no 10. So Cardenas can't make the play. Chambliss goes to third, and the Indians have runners on the corners trying to get a rally going here, as Hargan will be called back. And Roy Foster, the Indians are hoping he's Australian for pinch hit 3-run homer, maybe. Although that is a very tough Ryan card. You're not getting many hits off of that card. Wow. All right, Havoc roll for nothing on the 8. Oops, and nothing there. We'll do it again. Hold on. I put my Foster in my scorecard here. Okay. Two and a 3, and Foster gets plunked. So base is full of Indians. And the tying run in the name of Tommy McCraw is coming to the plate. And nobody out. Angels will play the infield back. They'll gladly give up 2 outs for a run. And here's a pitch to McCraw. 2 and a 4. 1 to 7 home run. The rest is a triple. That's a 9. That's a bases clearing triple for Tommy McCraw. And now Ryan's going to be the one that's going to be wanting to come out. Maybe come out. Let's see. We have Eddie Fisher and Don Rose are loosening in the bullpen. I'll take a quick pause right here while the catcher goes to the mound. All right, so Jack Brohammer is up. Runner on third. Infield is brought in. 5 to 4 is now your score. Still nobody out. Havoc roll for Ryan. Nothing on the 11. Three and a 7. Fly ball center field. That's not where you want it to go. Making the catch is Rivers. Runner on third, McCraw runs at a 14 plus 2, gives him a 16. Rivers is a plus 3 at a 19, so he's only out on a 20, and yes, they will send him. And he's safe on a 14. So sacrifice fly for Jack Brohammer, and just like that, Gaylord Perry is off the hook. He will get the no decision, and technically so is Nolan Ryan. One out, sorry. Brohammer does his job. Base is empty. One out for Alex Johnson. Six and a 4. Triple to a 1. That's a 4, so fly ball to left field. And Pinson makes the catch 2 down. And here's Ray Fosse, 7th man to bat in the inning. Oops. 3 and a 9. And a bouncer back to the mound. And Ryan will retire Fosse. That will likely be it for Nolan. Oops. 4 runs on 3 hits. No errors and nobody left on. And through 5.5, the Indians and the Angels back to even at this time at 5. And Hargan will come out for a reliever. Looks like we're going to try Ed Farmer to come in the game. Pitch now for Hargan. He pitched 2 innings of scoreless ball. And Oliver McMullen and Stanton do up for the Angels here. Here's Oliver, 1 for 2 with a single. And that's a ballpark single. 7 is no good, needs a 1 or a 2. So that's we'll just say it's a fly ball to left field. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Here's Ken McMullen. Three and a 3. And McMullen drives one into left field, and that will get down for a hit. First hit of the day for Ken McMullen. And they will not hold him on. Fosse is a -3, so that'd be -1, -3. So not being held on for McMullen. Here's Leroy Stanton. And on a 1, Farmer 1 to 7 for the wild pitch. And there's a 1 again, so down to second goes McMullen on the wild pitch. Havoc roll again. Nothing on the 15. All right, Stanton runner in scoring position, trying to take back the lead. Two and a 9. And that's a base hit into left field. McMullen not being held on, but he runs at a 9, makes him a 10. 50-50 chance they will say no. And Farmer getting rudely greeted. Got the first person out, but single wild pitch and a single puts runners on the corners for John Stevenson, and the Indians will bring the infield in with 1 out. Nothing on the 3 on the Havoc roll. Three and a 10. Oh, that's popped up. Left side of the infield. First baseman Chambliss calls for it and makes the catch. And here is Cardenas. And likely if he gets out, then the Angels will pull a double switch. Yes, I do that. Nothing on the 15. Here's Cardenas. 4 and a 5 against a righty. Fly ball, left field. Going back is Johnson. He's under it, and that will retire the side. We are through 6, still tied at 5. And, Actually, they will go on a batter-to-batter basis to see if Ryan can't get through 7. Meaning if anybody gets into scoring position, then he will be done for. If not, this is his final inning of work. Here, going to the top of the 7th. All right, here's Greg Nettles. One and an 11. Ballpark single, not on an 11. So that's a fly ball to center field. One away. Here's Buddy Bell. One and a 6. Popped him up. Shortstop Cardenas calls for it. Makes the catch, 2 away. And here is Chris Chambliss. One and a 9. All of them on the 1 column, and they do not hurt Ryan. Bouncer back to the mound. Ryan throws to first, and that will retire the side. Stretch time here in Anaheim. Tied at 5. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for your favorite team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. And let's see, pinch hitting for Nolan Ryan will be Winston Yanus. So Ryan will go 7 innings, gives up 5 earned runs. He walked 3 and struck out 5. All right, and here is Yanus to face Farmer. Likely his last inning of work. He is due up 2nd in the top of the 8th. So here is Yanus. Another 1 column. This helps out Yanus. That's a base hit for Yanus. And Alomar they'll be expecting a bunt from Alomar being the 7th inning, which means he will be a C bunter. Havoc roll for Farmer. Nothing on the 7. All right, so Alomar will be a C bunter now. 5. Oh boy, this is not good. Triple 5s. 5 to the first baseman, C, and a 10. Pops it up. Third baseman makes the catch. And everybody goes back to their base, and they go back to their bases. Here's Mickey Rivers. He will be called back for a pinch hitter. Ken Berry will hit for Rivers. Rivers did triple in 3 at-bats, but at least he's not a +3 arm going into the final innings. So Berry will pinch hit and play left field, your rare E0 for an outfielder. Okay, so Berry will come pinch hit and stay in the game and play center field. Havoc roll for Farmer. Nothing on the 13. Six and an 8 for Perry, and he draws a walk, so runners on first and second. Now you wonder if, let's see here, the third out. Okay, so Farmer is he's one out, one hit or walk away from being tired because he's in his second inning of work. So you have Denny Riddleberger and Vince Colbert loosening in the bullpen. For Pinson, they will, let's see here, will they hold all runners? Yes, they will. So Yannis runs at a 12. Actually, they won't hold any runners. Okay. Havoc roll for Pinson. Nothing on the 13. Five and an 8. Second base chance for Brohammer. Not holding any runners means he keeps his 2 range. 2 and a 6. That's a G2. And Brohammer 19, and there should not be a 10 on a 19. There is not. So Brohammer will throw to second to get Barry. Return throw is not in time. Going to third is Yannis. And here is Bob Oliver to try to bring home the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 7th. Nothing on the 10. Four and a 2. First base chance for Chambliss. He is a 3, so this will get by him. And that's a 9. Lean a 2. Double die comes up. 11 and a 9. 6 and 8, but there is no 9. So that gets by Chambliss. Scoring from third is Yannis. Moving to third is Pinson, and the Angels take a 6-5 lead. And let's see here. Do the Indians want to double switch? Actually, I think they will. All right, so coming into the game to play right field will be Del Unser to replace Buddy Bell, and Vince Colbert will come into the game. Let's see, well, you got what? McMullen. Well, you got 2 righties. So actually, we're going to take the lefty Riddleberger. So Unser will come into the game and play right field. And the pitcher spot will take Bell's spot in the order. So, okay, so Unser. And Bell. Okay, so here is Riddleberger to replace Farmer. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Angels lead 5-4, and lefty-righty matchup. I should be lefty-lefty, but they have a hunch with 5 and a 7. Bad hunch. That's a base hit. Scoring from third is Pinson. Going to third is Oliver. 7-5, Angels lead. Here's Leroy Stanton. Nothing on the Havoc roll. 6 and a 7. Double to 2. And the double die comes up a 1, of course. So, scoring from third is Oliver. McMullen will be held at third. And the Angels have busted this open. 3 runs here. And here's Stevenson. So second and third. Nothing on the 20. Six and a 6. And he just walked the bases loaded. So here's Cardenas. And Yannis may get the rare double appearance in 1 inning. Cardenas is the 9th man to bat. Nothing on the 12. Three and a 7, not so much. Ground ball to first. Chambliss takes it to the bag himself, and that retires the side. But 3 runs come in here in the bottom of the 7th, and the Angels lead 8-5. And well, you might want to thought of bringing in Fisher. Let's see if they have a shorter reliever. Maybe only gives them an inning. No. Well, no. All right, they'll go with Eddie Fisher. He may come on for multiple innings. All right, so Fisher will replace Nolan Ryan, who, by staying on that extra inning, is now in line for a win, even though he gave up 5 runs. All right, Eddie Leon is going to be lifted for a pinch hitter. Frank Duffy will come into the game and hit for Duffy, Unser, and McCraw due up for the Indians here in the top of the 8th. Let's no Havoc roll. All right. Here's Eddie Fisher. He comes into the game. All right. And here's the pitch. And we'll redo that. .311, and against the righty, that's a ground ball to first. And Oliver throws it to Fisher, covering 1 away. Here's Del Unser, first at bat for him today. Oops, and that does not count, did not go through. 6 and a 7 against the lefty. And that's a base hit to center field. So went out single for Del Unser. And let's see, Fisher is a +5. Stevenson is a +1. So +6, +4. They're holding him on. No, it's either he gets caught or he doesn't. So Unser will be held on, but not go anywhere. And here is Tommy McCraw. Nothing on the 12. 4 and a 6. Fly ball to right field. And heading back is Stanton. He will make the catch. 2 down. Here's Jack Brohammer. Nothing on the 20. 6 and a 7 against the lefty. Base hit to center field. Unser runs at a 15. 2 outs makes him a 17. That is 2, 6, 7. Center field, that is Barry a 0. And they will just let him have third and keep Brohammer at first. And here is Alex Johnson. Nothing on the 4. So first and third, 2 down. Six and an 8 against the righty second base X. Alomar 2 and a 3. And we were not holding anybody on, so he holds that, and plus he keeps his, he does not get the pound sign. Alomar E18. And an 11. There is no 11, so great diving stop by Alomar. Throws to first, and that retires the side. The Indians go scoreless here in the 8th. And actually, the Angels will get a pinch hitter for all right. So we get to the bottom of the 8th, and let's see here. Andy Costco will pinch hit for the pitcher in this 8-5 game. And let's see, we will have, let's see here, Lloyd Allen will come in the 9th to try to shut this down. Okay, so Costco will pinch hit, and he will face Riddleberger. Six and a 3 against the righty. And that's a ballpark blast, but not a 1. So that ball is hit the left field, and step on the warning track is Alex Johnson makes the catch. 1 away. Here's Sandy Alomar made the nice diving stop to end the top of the 8th. 4 and a 4. Switch hitter betting left or right-handed. 4 and a 4. Yep, ballpark single chance. Actually, no, 4 and a 4. Switch hitter betting right-handed. Yeah, 1 to 2. And that's a fly ball to center field. Making the catch there is Unser. No, that's McCraw. Unser is in right field. 2 away, and here's Ken Berry. One and a 9. And that's a bouncer back to the mound. And that will retire the side. We go to the top of the 9th. In comes Lloyd Allen, the second reliever for the Angels. He will face Fosse Nettles in a pinch hitter. Okay, there's a Lloyd Allen. Here's Ray Fosse. All right. Fosse is 0 for 4 today. 6 and an 8. 1 to 2 double chance. That's a 3, so that's a base hit for Fosse. They will not hold him on. Here's Greg Nettles. Two and an 8. Fly ball, left field. And Pinson camps under it, makes the catch to retire Nettles. And Lou Camilli will pinch hit for Riddleberger. With switch hitter batting left-handed. Nothing on the 8 for the Havoc roll. 1 and a 3. Popped him up. Foul territory. First base side. First baseman Oliver calls for it. Makes the catch. And the last chance here for the Indians is Chris Chambliss. Chambliss is 2 for 4 on the day with 2 singles. Nothing on the 5. Oops, and we'll redo this one again. Four and a 7. And not quite done yet. Just a bit outside ball 4. And the tying run has now come to the plate in Frank Duffy. And Havoc roll for nothing on the 10. Not holding any runners on. Oops, and that does not count because all dice have to go through. Five and a 9. Fly ball left field. And having room there is Pinson. And that's your ball game. Final score from Anaheim Stadium. Angels win this one 8-5. Be right back with the line score. All right, 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Angels. 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Indians. Ryan, who pitched the top of the 7th, got the win because he stayed in when the Angels took the lead. And Ed Farmer, who pitched the start of the 7th inning, gets the loss. And Allen gets the save. All right, like I said, I'll probably just keep doing like kind of one-off games, although I will continue my 1998 Yankees against the 1967 Cardinals soon, and I may even do another strat hockey game. Who knows? All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you can. Helps the video to be seen. If you like to leave a comment, please do so. And if you've not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be notified of any new videos. And whatever game you are playing, please enjoy it to your fullest. Have a good night, everybody.